I've foraged since I was a child. We always used to go and get blackberries and elderberries, bilberries, field mushrooms. So there was a lot we used to forage just as part of lifestyle, really. So a lot of it was cultural. My family had done it, their parents had done it, so it was just something that was passed down amongst families and communities. And then as I got older, I got more into foraging and engaged more deeply with the natural world. I eventually saw that it was my foraging skills would actually provide a livelihood as well and enable me to follow this pastime and make it into a living. I've got here some turkey tail, which I've just foraged, which is a bracket fungus. Decomposer, breaking down wood into nutrients and helping the plants around it. But this one's of particular interest because we can also forage medicine as well as food, and this one's received a lot of attention because of its anti-cancer properties. This fungus is full of polysaccharides which supercharge our immune system to go targeting cancer cells, and it's been shown to shrink several cancers, both breast cancer and prostate cancer, and is used in Asia in conjunction with chemotherapy.
In days gone by, in the 19th century, botanists and people who studied these things were all well-learned men, and they all spoke Latin, and if they wanted to speak to their counterparts in different parts of the world, they would use Latin as a dialogue, and hence Latin is now regarded as the international way of recording the names of species.
With regards to collecting mushrooms for eating, only ever collect enough for yourself, otherwise recruitment could be affected. So if everyone went out collecting mushrooms, there's a chance that populations would diminish over time. In terms of where to collect mushrooms from, this is an old mining site, and all mining sites are known to have various toxic metals, heavy metals, and fungi are very good at collecting heavy metals. So I would, despite there being some nice tasty mushrooms here from time to time, I wouldn't eat any mushrooms off this site.
DNA technology has really changed the face of mushroom collecting and identification of species. The technology isn't available to every amateur, of course, it's expensive. However, the taxonomy of fungi is changing, as I was saying earlier, because previously it was just the morphological characteristics that were identified to determine what a mushroom was. Now they do this DNA analysis and finding this. Some mushrooms have been placed in the wrong genus, and so there's a great advantage to have the new technology.
I'm not into edibility at all, so they're all poisonous as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't eat any of them.
I have like a mental map of my town in my head about where all the mushrooms grow and other plants, and when they grow is, especially for mushrooms, the timing is like absolutely key, because you can come and they'll fruit for like a few days and then they'll disappear, and that's your chance gone.
When I'm foraging, I sort of see it as like an extension of my kitchen. I want it to be clean and safe, and not just for me but for wildlife as well. When it comes to cooking mushrooms, I usually like to try and cook them simply first, and that gives you the most focus on the individual flavours. So you might expect all mushrooms to taste mushroomy, and they do to an extent, but a lot of them have their own sort of unique flavour, and if you cook them simply, that's the way you're going to experience that flavour. For me, foraging was about experiencing the interconnectedness of nature, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I can teach people, like that we are not visitors, we are part of nature, even though we don't necessarily think of ourselves that way. We are always part of nature, and basically I feel custodians of it. That is our job, to look after it, and I think foraging or foragers have one of the best perspectives on that, because we are out looking at everything all of the time.